Protein is literally the foundational macronutrient for muscle building, and it is estimated that 1 billion people are actually protein deficient, never mind people who want to build muscle, right? So for the last 4 years, I've been managing to hit my protein intake, and I've got to this physique, and I've maintained it throughout different jobs while running my business, doing my coaching. So after you've watched this video, hopefully the chances of you missing your protein intake will pretty much be zero. In this video, I'm going to cover how to find your protein intake, the best foods I would consume for protein, and number 3, how to fit it together into your lifestyle so then it doesn't take too much brain power and effort. I'm going to share my screen because it will be so much easier if I do it that way. So stay tuned from start to finish, and I promise you will go away with a lot more knowledge on how you can actually do this realistically.
Cool, so let's just get right into this step by step. Get a pen and paper, follow along. I promise you, you will just make life a lot easier if you do this. So step 1 is we need to calculate our protein intake. It's basically what we're going to be eating every single day. What you're going to do, get your body weight in kg, then you're going to multiply that by the following range between the number 2 and number 3, right? So if you build muscle easily, you're going to stick closer to 2. If it's harder to build muscle, then you're going to stick closer to 3. When I was in my recomp phase, I was eating around 3 grams per kg, right? But right now, I'm not, so I don't need to eat that much. So for example, if you use me as an example, 60 kg times that by 2.5, that's the range between there, and we're going to get 150 grams of protein per day. Simple. And this doesn't change really when you're on a cut or a bulk. All you're going to do is adjust the carbs and fats. So your protein pretty much stays the same regardless. Cool. Step 2 is the best foods to eat. Now, protein is not just protein. There is actually different types. We've got complete, incomplete, structural, functional, and derived. Each has its own role within the body. But for muscle building, what we really want to focus on is the complete proteins, okay? Because they have all 9 essential amino acids, which are basically the building blocks of protein. Now, here's a list of protein sources that I would recommend. This is based off what I eat on a regular basis. Super simple, and they're actually quite cheap. With the chicken, you can get chicken breast or chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are a little bit fattier, but they also have more calories. So if you're going in a bulk, that's a good option. So if you're going on a bulk, that's a good option. But if you're in a cutting phase, then perhaps look something like chicken breast. Cool. With fish, you've got examples like tuna, salmon, mackerel. You can get mackerel in olive oil, which is all got really good omega-3s, which is good for your heart and your brain. Yep, so eggs has essential nutrients like choline, which is really good for brain health as well. Cool. So after this, what we're going to do simply is put it together. So first you've selected your protein sources. So example, doing this with me, I've selected chicken, eggs, beef, and fish. Then you're going to find out on your regular day-to-day, on a normal day, how many meals do you eat? How many meals do you eat regularly, right? So I'm going to say I eat 3 meals per day. And then from that, you're going to assign your protein sources to each meal. This is super important because now we're beginning to systemize it. So with meal 1, I'm just going to have eggs. With meal 2, I'm going to have chicken. And with meal 3, I'm going to have beef for 4 days and then fish for 3 days. Super simple. This stays the same for now. Then you're going to assign the amount to your protein sources. So remember that my daily goal is 150 grams of protein. So we're going to do 150 divided by 3. We're going to aim for 50 grams of protein per meal. So with that meal, I'm going to aim 50. With that meal, I'm going to aim 50. And with that meal, I'm going to aim for 50. Well, when you break it down, it makes it a lot easier to basically build upon. Now, tip is to start with 100 grams and then work from there. So what I mean is start with, for example, 100 grams of chicken, start with, for example, 100 grams of beef, and you can see how much protein that is. And if you want to find out how much that is, all you have to do is go to Google and search how much protein in X amount of food. So you go to Google and search how much protein in 100 grams of chicken breast, how much protein in 100 grams of beef, or how much protein in 3 eggs, for example, and you get the answer. Now, let's say of just what I eat right now, I'm having meal 1, I'm having 4 eggs, which is 24 grams of protein. With meal 2, I'm having 200 grams of chicken breast, which is 62 grams of protein. And then in meal 3, I'm having 200 grams of beef, which is 53 grams of protein. So if you add all these 3 together, I'm on, for example, 139 grams of protein out of my goal of 150 grams. Now, I'm happy with that. If you really want to get nitpicky, because to be honest, we're not only eating just that, we're going to have on top of that, for example, sourdough toast, maybe wholemeal wraps. You might have snacks like nuts, protein shakes, so on and so forth. Now, these things are obviously going to add up, so you will pretty much be clearing that 150 grams when you put everything in together, because there's protein in carbohydrate focused sources as well. Now, The thing is, you want to aim for around 15% variance of closeness to the target protein intake. So if you get 150 grams, find out what 15% of that is in my case, and even if you're 15% below it, I'm cool. I'm happy with that. Now, next is next is preparation. This is super important because if you want to stay consistent with it, you have to prepare. Every client that I'm with, we always work this out step by step. What can be the easiest way to do this consistently over a longer period of time? The first thing I would recommend is just meal one going with eggs. It's super simple, super easy, right? These eggs will take you 15 minutes per day max, and it's super easy to cook. And if you don't have time for eggs, then you can make something like a smoothie the night before. 2 scoops of protein shake, peanut butter, some fruits, honey, whisk it up in a mixer and then leave it in the fridge, and you can have that as you go to work. That's another example, right? But we want something that's super easy. So eggs, 15 minutes per day, no excuse for that. Number two, for me, when I have the chicken, this, believe it or not, takes me around 10 minutes total per week. Yes, I said that, per week, and I'll tell you why. What I do is I buy pre-cut chicken breast to save time, or I buy boneless chicken thighs. This way I don't spend any time on the chopping board, super simple. Number two, I marinate all of it together. So if I buy a kilo of chicken breast, I don't marinate 200 gram or 200 gram at a time. That's wasting more time. What you do is put it all in a big bowl, marinate it all together, then you separate it into lunch boxes and then whack it in the freezer. Trust me, this is super simple, and it also makes the food taste fresh when you have it. So the night before eating, what you want to do is take it out of the freezer and put it in the fridge to defrost naturally. And then on the day of eating, place it in an air fryer to save time. If you are spending money on stupid things like clothes and video games and going out to eat at expensive restaurants and you still have not bought an air fryer, you don't take this stuff seriously. So don't give me that excuse. If you don't have a job, find a job, invest in something that's going to be useful for you, like an air fryer, and use that to get in shape. Cool. Meal three is beef. This takes probably around 25 minutes per week, and it's because it's super simple, right? What you're going to do is make the beef all together. I don't even know if I spelled bolognese right. Please forgive me if you're Italian. That's definitely wrong. Cool. But you're going to make the beef all together. Super simple. Fry up some onions, some pepper, whack the beef in, season it, and then whack in some super simple tomato paste that's fresh, 100% natural tomato paste. And then you're going to repeat the same process as the chicken. Put it into freezer boxes, put it into lunch boxes, freeze it, and the day before you're going to defrost it, and the night before you're going to defrost it, and then you're going to make it in the air fryer or put it on the pan to easily make it. Now, if you're not sure about these recipes, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave a couple of links to some decent recipes that I found on YouTube that I think that you can use that I think would be quite easy for you as well, because in that way you've at least got a plan of action. But that really is the simplicity of it. You don't want to be sat here overcomplicating the whole thing. This is pretty much a similar process that I do with my clients. So I'm giving this to you because it actually works. This is how my team are losing weight and getting into better shape. But what we've seen is we've just broken everything down step by step, and then you want to find a way to stay accountable and do this consistently for a longer period of time. And I promise you, you will make progress within your training. Goodbye.